up, everybody? It is Tuesday, 7 p.m. This is the Triple Threat Vet Podcast. This is Ty. We've got Matt and Al in the building, and we've got a guest who's absolutely got an amazing voice, Aubrey Lynn. She's a Marine veteran. Let's go ahead and bring in Matt real quick.
That is right. It's Tuesday. It's 7. It's time to come in for another show. So thank you to everybody out there that's watching. I want to say hi to CIA Bob. You're back. Glad you feel better. And just welcome to everybody that's coming back in to check out the show. Don't forget, Matt is still in the lead for the t-shirt contest, and you got to make sure that you keep buying his shit so that I can give away the money at the end. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and bring in our hero. They made a song about him.
Fuck Matt Johnson. So I do want to discuss a topic tonight that's I think is plaguing men of our age. And when I say of our age, I mean any man over 35 years old. So, and I know it's not just me, but I want to discuss this topic that I really feel like America needs to hear about. And it's the rewipe. I really have this issue. So there's a time. So it seems like as I got older, every time I take a shit, like I'll go, first of all, not only is it a shit, but then I have the forever wipe. It feels like I got a marker stuck up my ass and I'm just wiping and wiping and wiping. The marker's never going away. And then finally I get clean and I'm using baby wipes. I'm using wet wipes. I'm dry wiping after the wet wipes. I've got a whole process. But then like it never fails. About, I don't know, good 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later, I'm not doing shit. Just walking the fuck around the house, hanging out. And all of a sudden it feels like I'm not so clean. And when I go back into the bathroom for the rewipe, I'm still dirty. Like I don't understand what's going on. So either it's just me, which I don't believe. I don't believe. In fact, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men rewipe. And if you fucking don't, if you're saying you don't, two things are happening. You're either a fucking liar or you're walking around with a dirty ass. So please, there it is. Bob knows, wax your asshole. My asshole's clean. I don't know about yours. But at the end of the day, I want to know who else out there, please comment if you have to rewipe and at what age did that fucking start? Because I feel like when I was in my 20s, like I don't even think my ass cheeks touched. My shit was just perfect. That shit just fell out. My shit was clean breakers all the time. Now, I said I'm either forever wiping with the marker in my ass or I'm having a rewipe. So I'm gonna bring the fellas in to get their comment on this topic of the rewipe.
That's called an excuse. That's an excuse to get away from everybody. Oh man, I gotta go rewipe.
Well, it's embarrassing because people know, like my wife's like, you just went and took a shit. I'm like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like I'm first fucking all, like, don't ask me what I'm doing. I got to go check on something back there. You know what I'm saying? Literally back there.
I got to make sure the toilet's not leaking because I know my butthole is.
Bro, I've got wipes. I've got everything you need under the sun, bro. And I'm like, man, I feel fresh and clean. Hell, I can get in the shower and still need a rewipe. I don't know what's going on back there, bro. I am at that age where like I'm about to have to go get that scope, the little scope thing where they look at your insides. You just
need to do more ab workouts, bro. You just don't have enough oomph to push it out. I think that's what it is, bro. Like it's just
no. I'm bearing down, bro. I'm going through labor. I'm bearing down.
Do you have handles on the side of the John?
Yeah, I got the fucking handicap handles. I'm bearing down, bro. Like I'm writing apology letters to these toilets sometimes. I'm like, dear toilet, I'm really fucking sorry for what I just did to you. Like I'm writing apology notes. I'm having to clean afterwards. Like this shit is getting ridiculous, bro. I don't know what's going on. And I know it ain't just me. It ain't just
Bob
me.
Said, tell April to keep her finger out your butthole.
First of all, right. Bob, we don't do that. We don't do the butthole stuff, bro. I'm a grown ass man. That's an exit.
Only.
Am I the only one out here? You guys don't ever have to like.
I mean, there's been a couple times probably when I was in a hurry, but I mean, like on a normal basis, like bullshit. To be like, oh man.
No, I know what you mean.
Weird.
And I thought it was my diet. I have no idea what it is, but yeah, I can relate with that. I thought it was just I'm not able to reach back there far enough. I don't know what.
I do got little short T-Rex. I do got T-Rex arms.
Yeah, I got the long arms.
Bro, I got a squatty potty that gives you some leverage. I got every.
I got those in my house too.
Yeah, I've seen your squatty potties. Them things, man, it gives you good leverage.
Holy shit, man!
Put your feet.
What do you guys do when Al goes to your house, Ty?
Activities.
Lots
of them.
We got lots of room for activities.
Yeah.
Right. You guys do karate in the garage? Don't fuck around.
We relax and we
I've
talk
never
about
been invited.
writing movies about aliens.
Yeah, we did. We did pretty much write a whole screenplay for Alien Invasion and what we would do and how the movie, literally, the movie starts out with me and Al driving in a vehicle, and the point of view, the camera is right behind us. We already talked about the opening shots.
Blair Witch Project style.
Well, much more vivid color, not so much,
I mean, we're not using VHS tape recorders anymore.
You're gonna use
your iPhone for Christ's sake. Come on,
yeah, probably have to use like what do they call the big 50-foot,
I will say this. Texas has some really good edibles. Y'all's edible is real strong. It's bigger in Texas.
What you're talking about.
I do because I've tried them and they'll put you to sleep for real.
What's that?
The edibles in Texas.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey, bro. You know what though? I thought about something. So your boy Bob's over here talking about EU toilets, bro. All you need to do is go buy that bidet setup for your shit, and you'll be good, man.
Bro, I'm from
just wash it off like a car wash when you get done.
First of all, we're country. I got a garden hose run through the screen in the bathroom window. I don't need no motherfucking bidet, bro. I can't even spell that.
I was gonna ask you if you could spell bidet.
BIDA.
Bro, I'm Google that shit later. I don't think it'll help. I really don't. And why did they change the age to get that little rectal fucking scope to 50 from 50 to 45? That's some bullshit, bro.
The little colonoscopy thing?
Yeah, bro, it's 45 now. I'm about to be 45
get in there and
this
get
year.
that done.
Bro.
You might be at risk.
I don't give a fuck. That's just gonna kill me. I'm dead.
Be a man.
You just better hope they don't have fat fingers, dude. Like, snap them gloves.
Take 2 and ask for 2 more.
So I will tell you a real quick story. So
all right, we got to get our guest on. So let's be quick.
Just be super quick. Just real quick. So one time I thought I got burnt. You know what I'm saying? Like I woke up, it was burning when I peed. I was like, oh shit, this is a bad day. I don't know what she gave me. Then went in Bear Grats. You know what I'm saying? Went to medical. The doc's like, hey, bro, like. I'm gonna call it was an HM. The doc was like, don't worry about it, bro. I'm gonna give you these pills. We're gonna say we did it. I'm saying, say we did what? He's like, just don't worry about it. Just when doc comes in, just be like, it's all good. So the doc walks in, HM1 walks in. He's like, all right, so we got to do a fucking prostate exam. I don't know what the fuck a prostate is or even where it's located. And I'm like, cool, let's go. And he's like, bro. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're gonna do a prostate exam to make sure everything's good. I'm like, fuck. And then he tells me what it is. And I'll never forget the words that came out of his mouth when he told me to pull my knees to my chest. This motherfucker said, pardon my finger. That motherfucker straight up said, pardon my finger. And then it's over. We're good. And I had a fucking, I ended up having like a bladder infection or something. I had an infection. So it wasn't what I thought. It wasn't the fucking, oh shit. Right. And the next time I see this motherfucker, it's in the Navy exchange. We're in the exchange. He walks up and talks to me and my family like we're friends, bro. You had your fucking whole knuckle deep in my shit. You better don't ever speak to me and my family again. Okay.
Oh, it's so great. Dude, look, we just need to create like YouTube shorts and make them cartoons like Eric Knowles' first day in boot camp when he's walking down in the cartoon thing, the marker incident, the butthole. Like we got to make all these little cartoon shorts of Al and all his crazy shit.
We can do that.
A video of you and your brother sitting in the kiddie pool drinking beer in base housing. You know, it's gonna be a good time.
That was a good day. That was a good day. That was a good day.
So
the neighborhood didn't like it. Anyway.
Yeah. Without further ado. As Ty said, we have a guest coming on today, and just from the beginning of what we talked about, y'all, she is not an expert in Al's leaky butthole or why he has to rewipe. Okay, she is a professional. Okay, she is a former Marine, and an artist, musician, country music artist in the state of Texas. So she's fucking awesome already. She's in Texas, so. We wanted to bring her on. You guys know we have an affinity for musicians on the podcast. We love music. So I would just like to, without further ado, introduce today's guest, Miss Aubrey Lynn, and bring her on in. And you guys be nice. Say hello.
Be nice.
What's going on, Marine?
What's up? I'm glad we're all this comfortable with one another already.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. We were warming you up, right? Like, just get ready. Here it goes. You know, at the end of the day, you probably were like, man, I feel like I'm back in the Marine Corps because I had to listen to all this bullshit every day. Yeah, there you go. See?
That's exactly what it felt like.
Welcome home, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, Aubrey. We appreciate you coming on. We're excited to hear about your story, hear about all the great things that you're doing. But like normal with our guests, what we do like to do is get to know you. Okay. So where did you grow up? And what is it like for you growing up where you did?
So I'm from Garland, Texas, suburb of Dallas. Are y'all in Houston? Is that where y'all are?
Mm-hmm. Except for Al, he's the only loser that lives in Florida. So.
Oh well.
He's in Pensacola.
Welcome to DeSantis country.
I grew up in Garland, and it's a suburb of Dallas, but it's a giant city, and it was awesome growing up there when I was a kid. I just remember like living on in a subdivision, and all my friends lived next door, and we rode bikes all the time, and we played on the playground that was right behind our house. The elementary school I went to was right behind the house. We walked to school every day, and I remember not being afraid to do anything in Garland. Like my mom would just kind of kick us out during the day and say, y'all go play. And we wouldn't come back until the streetlights came on. And it was just how we grew up, but I wouldn't dare let my children do that anymore. So it was a lot. I don't know. Either we were tougher then, or it felt safer then. It probably wasn't safe.
So I have a theory on this. It's not that we were safer then, right? You just couldn't see what the hell was wrong with the street over in like 2.5 nanoseconds on your phone. So because you know everything in the world that's going on, you tell your kids they can't go outside. We just went out. We probably were on a whole bunch of shit we shouldn't have been around. But because we didn't know what was there, you were able to go out. So I think because of all of this access to information, we're trying to protect kids a lot. And there's things you got to protect them from, but they just don't go out in the neighborhood. Like you go into neighborhoods now, you think you're what's that like in that Call of Duty game, Nuketown? That's what you're driving through. Like it's barren. There's nothing. There's no birds chirping. Everybody's inside. You're like, I thought this was a family neighborhood. No, it's not.
I don't know. I remember just kind of taking care of ourselves when we were growing up. Like I had an older sister and a younger brother, and our cousins lived across the street from us, and we just kind of ran the neighborhood. We did whatever we wanted. We rode bike trails. We played kickball all the time, and like we were just outside. And my dad was a constable for Dallas County for 30 years, so we were already kind of raised to have our head on a swivel, like everywhere we went, just because being a cop's kid, he was scared of us getting into anything because he worked in South Dallas. So he was like, there's bad people everywhere. So we already had that in our brain, I guess, when we were running around. And like my kids and kids their ages, I just see them kind of like in their own little bubble, like they don't pay attention to anything.
I mean, it's the phone.
It's just crazy to me.
Right, you have the phone that distracts them watching TV. A lot of parents nowadays are they're working. Shit's more expensive. But I mean, but I think it's also the access that they have. The information is what like I said, what hurts it too. Like you don't have to figure it out anymore, right? You didn't have to go outside and drop water on the ground and walk through it and let your mom get pissed off because you walked in the house muddy. Like, because got to, stay clean, all that stuff. Nobody eats dirt anymore. Nobody drinks out of the garden hose. Like,
Bullshit. I do it every weekend.
Well, we know what you're doing with the garden hose in the bathroom.
And first of all, I Apple AirTag my daughter. Like, my daughter ain't never going nowhere. I Apple AirTag everything she owns. She's Apple AirTag right now.
I don't blame you. I really don't. I have two teenagers that are driving now. And pray for me because I need some prayers because I don't know how I ask my mother all the time, how did you let us go anywhere in a car? She was like, I don't know, I just panicked and worried until you guys came back or you got where you were going safely, but eventually I felt like you could handle that and you were growing up and more experienced as a driver. And she goes, but y'all were driving tractors and lawnmowers and side-by-sides and four-wheelers and riding horses, and like y'all were doing things like that where you were controlling a vehicle or horse on your own most of your life. So you knew how to do it and you were kind of situationally aware. Yeah. And I was like, I think that's what I worry about. Again, phones and all the other things that the kids are into, the distraction level is outrageous to me. So I'm so nervous every time they leave the house. I don't know. I watch them on the Life 360 app.
Oh man, look, oh my god,
crazy about it.
You know how many times I've asked my wife, I've been like, what would you do if your parents had Life 360 when you were growing up? She was like, we ain't talking about that. I'm like, what? What do you mean we're not talking about it? And my son is like, I can't get away from it. I'm like, well, it looks like you're just going to have to deal with it. You want technology? You're welcome. Yeah. Right. And now apparently there's something called air tagging. I don't even know what that is. I bet I'm air tagged
Apple air tags. You just put them in their backpacks, all that. Put them in their shoes.
It's a little GPS tracker, basically.
Only my daughter, bro. She's the only one I care about. My sons, my boys, I was hoping somebody kidnapped one of them. Like, I had signs on them like this one can
take these. They're this free.
This one cuts grass. Like
no, they don't. They don't cut grass. Don't lie about that.
Yeah, but my daughter, bro.
Yeah.
Love that one.
That's funny. So growing up, so obviously you rode horses side by side. You did a lot outdoors. Did you grow up like rural? Garland? No. It depends. Back when you grew up, there was probably nothing, and everybody in Texas now goes, I wish you would have seen it back in the day. But did you live in the country? Did you live in the city? How did it go for you?
No, so Garland is very city, but my dad's side of the family is from Central Texas. So we spent any free time we ever could on the family farm down in, actually the town is North Zulch, Texas, near Norman G, close to Bryan College Station. So that's where I did all my outdoor shit. That's where we did all the fun stuff, the horses and the hunting and all of that stuff. But Garland is super city. So I kind of did, both worlds. Yeah,
so growing up, did you, other than that, what got you interested as you got older in joining the military? Like, where did that come from? Do you have a family history of military, or did the recruiter talk you into it? We've heard both,
No. No, I went to them, but my grandfather, my dad's dad, was in World War II. So he was 101st Airborne. He didn't tell us a lot of the stories about what happened, but he was there on D-Day. So I think my dad had told me many times whenever I decided to enlist that he would have kicked my ass or just tied me up somewhere and put me away so I wouldn't do it, so I wouldn't enlist, because he said they went through so much hell back then so that their families didn't have to go and serve and especially go to wars and stuff like that. So I mean, it was a hard decision for my dad to swallow, because he was like, if your granddaddy was alive, he would not be okay with this. But my dad, being in a service industry his whole life, like for his whole adult life, he was a police officer forever. And so he's like, I get where you get that from. And surely he got that sense of service from his dad and his uncles that were in the war. But like when I decided to go in, I also had a mentor that was my dad's boss. Like she's a constable too, or a retired constable now, but she was a Marine, and she was a Marine back when Marines were like, female Marines were not okay to be in the Marine Corps. Like it was not really acceptable back then. And all the men were kind of pissed off about it. And she was just one of those tough bitches and she made it through, and she paved the way for all the rest of us to come along and be a Marine as a female. So Helen, she was kind of a mentor to me, and she was my dad's boss and a mentor to him. And I don't know, I always admired that about her. I admired that she was the most independent human being, female or male, that I'd ever seen in my life. She could just do anything, and she just carried such an air about her, and respect was given no matter what. She demanded it. And I was just in awe of that. And I was like, if I was ever going to do anything in the service, I want to be a Marine, because she's badass, and I want to be badass like that. And so I went to college. I graduated high school, and I got into college. I went to Texas A&M, and I was in the band. So I played saxophone through, from middle school through high school, in marching band. And so I was in the Aggie band, and in the Corps Cadets at A&M, you have to be in the Corps Cadets to be in the marching band. And when you're in the Corps Cadets, you pick an ROTC. So obviously I picked Marine Corps ROTC. Well, I went to college. I graduated in May of 2001. By June, I was in a summer session. And so when the fall semester came around, I was already a semester in at school, but then September 11th happened of 2001. So I was kind of struggling with the Corps Cadets because I really thought it was. I liked being in the Corps and I loved being in the band, but they treated the freshmen like crap. And I mean, I went to boot camp, so I know what that's like. But it was a different kind of crap they were treating us like just very childishly, and it didn't seem like it had any point. The games we'd play, so I decided that I wanted to not do that because a lot of my classmates were getting injured. Like half of them were on crutches, and I'm like, torn ACLs and stuff for slipping and falling on something downstairs or in the hallways or whatever it was because of whatever they were spraying us with. And it was dumb. But I just called Dad and I said, I don't want to miss an opportunity to be a Marine. And I feel like physically I'm not going to be able to do it if I stay with this because they just haze the shit out of us and I'm not okay with it. And also I had that, after September 11th, that sense of service that hit me hard where I felt like I needed to go and I wanted to do my part then. And I was like, I don't need to be an officer. I just want to be a Marine. So I came home and I enlisted in 2003. And so it was a decision I had to make to get out of school because I've always wanted to be an Aggie and I always wanted to go to A&M and graduate from there. And all my friends, a lot of my friends from school, they were going at the same time. And I was like, I have to make that choice to just move on and do my own thing. And I was okay with it. So I came home and I enlisted and I shipped out in December of that year.
There you go. There you go. So when you came home and you told your family, yep, I'm not going back to A&M. I'm going in the Marine Corps. What'd they say?
Oh my God. Well, like my dad was okay with it. And I think he was okay with it because I'd already made up my mind. And he was like, I'm not going to be able to talk you out of it, but your mom's going to hate this. And especially because September 11th had just happened. And there were so many unknowns as to who was going to go where and what was going to happen. And so it was like, okay, so 2003, that's, when a lot of the stuff in Iraq was happening. So like my mother's just like, you're going to go to war and you're going to die. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom. Like I had tested well and I got a job that I wanted to do. So I did supply accounting. So I was basically like just a computer job. I didn't work in warehouses. I worked in supply units, but I just kind of handled accounts for every unit. So they would put their orders in through me, like the Serve Mart or the GSA or what, I don't know what they call it now, but it was called DSSC whenever I was in. But like anything you needed to order that wasn't through, like it wasn't your Kevlar and things like that. If you needed anything else for your unit, from pencils to, Yeah,
we called that Serve Mart in the Navy. Go get your supplies.
Yeah, your supplies. Like I did that kind of job, and I really enjoyed that job. But my mom was like, "They're gonna send you away." Well, my first unit, I went to a base unit, so like she got over. When I got through boot camp and all my MOS school and stuff like that, she was okay. Like, okay, you go into a unit that you don't deploy, and I was a 2-year, a 2-year tour over there in Okinawa, so. She was like, at least for 2 years, and you're not going to go anywhere.
Okay. Oh, God. No, I don't miss that place. And not even a little bit. I was in Okie for I was there for 2 months, and like the CB base is between like a crematory where they're burning bodies and a pig farm. So you're PTing in between the greatest smells in the morning, right? And then I ended up going from there to Pohang, Korea. So I got lucky and got sent away.
Pohang, Korea.
Got sent away from
at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you hear and then it stops.
You're like, Camp Mujuk, bro, the Marine Corps' forgotten post with Mount Motherfucker. I'll never forget Mount Motherfucker.
So we worked with a lot of CBs when I was in Okie, and I'll tell you what a cool ass group of guys. Like
that's a lie. We're a bunch of heathens.
No, we're really cool because we give 2 shits about military bearing, and we're like, where?
I know, that's why that was so awesome because we had to have bearing over there. So like you're in Okinawa, where all of your staff NCOs and officers, they have nothing else to do but just watch you all the time. So you're just micromanaged like crazy. And
Nice.
I just would see the CBs and I'm like, look at them. They don't give a fuck. It's awesome. Like,
No, we don't.
like we had to just be like, you know, high and tight all the time. It's just crazy.
So before we go further into the Marine Corps career, we did have a question from one of our astute listeners. CIA Bob here was why like Marine Corps, mad props he said for going Marines, but why not follow your grandfather's footsteps and try and go into the 101st Airborne Division in the Army?
Well, I think that was probably because I knew that he would not have wanted any of his grandchildren to go in the service. I don't know. I felt like that was kind of, I don't know. I think I just left it like that was my poppy's thing. And he had such a, I don't know. He did talk about it, you know. I mean, I'm sure you hear a lot of people talk about their family that were in the wars, in the World War II, and you know, Vietnam and stuff like that. They don't talk about a lot of it. And we'd ask a lot of questions all the time, and he just would give us nothing when we were kids growing up. And I don't even think that he told my dad and his brothers and sister much about it. But I don't know. I just kind of wanted to leave that as what my grandfather did. And like I said, I had my dad's boss my whole life. Her name's Helen Hicks, and she was a mentor to me in my life. It's just as a young lady, you know, and she had a daughter that was close to me. Like, we're still friends. And I just saw her as a Marine, and I went, wow, Marine, but she's also a woman. So and it blew my mind when I started to learn history of women in the Marine Corps and how that was like a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people for years and years. So it was like, man, she had to be super badass to be around all those guys and still just hang in there and do her job and be so respected and so revered. So I don't know. I just kind of, that was always just a path that I thought I would do. Marine Corps was always the choice.
Nice. All right. So one last question, which, you know, it's going to be a good one. Favorite flavor crayon. Ready? Go.
Favorite flavor crayon? So they all taste the same? No, I like.
Yeah,
dude.
They actually do. They do. I've eaten a bunch. They do.
I like green as my favorite. If I had to choose.
There you go.
So how long were you? So you said you did 2 years, or how long did you do total?
I did 2 years in Okinawa. I did 4 active and 4 on the IRR. Yeah, just one contract. But I was over in Oki for 2, and that when I went over there, I was the first set of orders that they sent unaccompanied tours for 2 years. It used to be 1, and I think you could go over there if you were accompanied and you could extend because you had your family with you or something. But being unaccompanied, usually it was a 1-year tour. And right when I got orders, they had just changed it to 2, so I didn't have a choice. And I'm super like a Texas person. I love Texas so much, just like all of us do. But
Japan's just like Texas. I mean, it's the same.
No, it ain't, bro. Japan's like Florida.
Just,
she got to Japan and went. Everybody's so fucking close.
They got Buc-ee's.
Spread out a little bit, please.
I was super homesick, so I came home. I came home twice from there before I rotated. Like, I came home the first time on a 30-day leave, and then the next time I came home on recruiting assistance because I was just like, I gotta get out of here. I don't know.
What's your favorite Oki memory?
My favorite memory. So I had a band when I was over there, and they were Okinawa Nationals, and they did not speak English and would play classic American rock. And so anytime I had a show with that band, that's my favorite memories of being over there. Awesome. Because it felt like home to me. Like,
there's a damn karaoke bar in every corner in Japan.
Oh, I know, but I had a 3-piece band. Like, we had a rock band, and it was awesome. And they couldn't. I knew like this much Japanese, so I could just say a couple things to them. But actually, I got hooked up with them because where I worked at the GSA or whatever it is. Now, the supply shop, I had GS workers with me, and they were Okinawans. And so their husbands, the ladies that worked with me, their husbands had the band. And then I was singing. So I've been singing. I was singing in boot camp. I've been singing the national anthem and any other patriotic song you can think of since I was in boot camp. One of my drill instructors figured out, somebody told them I sang, and so they would make me stand on the line at night and sing everybody to sleep.
Yes.
And I know at first they were messing with me, but then it became a thing. So I sang every night in boot camp, and I sang everybody to sleep, and then they'd have a change of command ceremony or something go on, and they need a national anthem. So they just trot me right out there, and I'd sing the national anthem. Well, when I was in Okinawa, that followed me. So I sang at every retirement ceremony for every Marine there was on the whole base, or up and down the island. I was doing change of commands down at the airfields, and up I would be all the way at the north end of the island doing stuff like that. It was just kind of like a billet that I didn't even get, I didn't get credited for. It was just, I was the singer that they called in.
Can you imagine how much gig money you would have made in the military if you would have charged per gig? It was like the best of free labor. Oh, they can sing? We ain't got to pay them. Bring them in here right now. We ain't got to worry about it.
Bring them in.
Go ahead. Say no. Say no. I order you to sing. He'd be like, my voice hurts. No, it didn't. Not today. Go see the doc. He'll give you some Motrin. You'll be good to go in 10 minutes. Right?
Yeah. Drink water.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
I love doing that so much. And then the ladies that worked with me, we did a retirement for somebody in our office, and they saw me singing. And my husbands have a band, and they need a singer. They play classic rock, and they just play the music because they don't know the English. And I was like,
so what songs were you guys playing?
I was going to ask what the set list was.
Yeah.
Little Skinner, some Allman Brothers.
Skinner, Eagles. We were doing blues. We were doing like anything between this, like the 50s through the 80s. And I kept asking, I was like, why is there no current music? Like we didn't do any, I don't think we did country or anything. Maybe one kind of country song, but and maybe that song that I'm thinking of is Bobby McGee, which is not country at all, but I countryfy it because I'm twangy. But I was like, why don't they have any more current music than that? And, it just went to kind of like the 80s. So 50, 60, 70, 80. And the ladies were like, well, because they don't have it here. I'm like, what do you mean they don't have it here? And they're like, well, like they have, the internet. But like if you go anywhere to buy music, there's, still CDs and stuff back in the early 2000s. So they're like, if you go buy music somewhere, we're about 20 years behind. I was like, oh my God. It was just, that was Okinawa. And people dressed like 20 years behind. They were into like the MTV and stuff like that. We did some music festivals and stuff. And it was wild to me.
That's
how
super cool
behind it was, but it was fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. We had such a ball.
Yeah, Okinawa was a pretty cool place. I remember driving, and we talked about it last week, the Liberty bus to Kadena Air Base many a times. The rides home were very interesting. But that was cool. I remember we used to go to the northern training area all the time with the Marines, so they could learn us in our FEX exercises. I remember we did FEX in Okinawa, and we're out there, and final protective fire, the camp's being overrun, and one of my buddies is in like the cinder block building, and he goes to stick his weapon out the window, and he starts shooting, and the Marine dude grabbed the muzzle and he just lit it off. The guy's like, you fucking idiot, you burned my hand. He goes, you're the dumb shit that grabbed it. And then they were like, all right guys, we need to calm down a bit. If he goes, what do you mean I can't shoot the dude? It was a shit show, dude. So great. Because we were there like, you want us to fight like war, like, right? And this is all pre 9/11, right? So preface this. So it's like, you want us to do, thought we were just here to hang out, do some stuff, and then go drink some beer, right? Like, I didn't know that we had to like really do some stuff, right? So it was crazy. That was cool. And then jungle warfare training in Okinawa was cool too.
Yeah, JWTC, baby.
Yeah. Yes. I remember our gunner's mate had an
aneurysm. We fight a lot of jungle wars nowadays. So that was really,
bro.
I went through jungle warfare. I went through jungle warfare training and then ended up in Iraq. I'm thinking, I don't see no.
They ain't got no trees. What's up?
Confused.
Super prepared, weren't you? Super prepared.
Yeah. I remember our gunner's mate was pissed, man, because every time someone would go to the NTA and come back, he's like, these weapons are screwed, because if you're training with Marines, you can't leave your weapon behind. Our gunner's mate was like, you can't let them hold on to these in that obstacle course. They don't know how to not put mud in everything. We're like, but we just did what we was told. I mean, I don't, it was crazy. Yeah.
Yep. That's what we did. Drug it through the mud, drug it everywhere, and then it wouldn't fire. And we're like,
whatever. Pick somebody else's up. That one probably works, It'll be all right.
The coolest thing that I got to do out, like while I was stationed in Okinawa, besides singing with the band and stuff, is I got orders to an exercise over in South Korea. So as tired as I was of being just so far away from home and at least the States, and I ran out of my leave and did my recruiting assistance and all that, and so I couldn't come back home anymore. Well, I got sent over to RSONI, and I guess it's kind of an exercise where if North Korea decides they want to invade South Korea or whatever, they go crazy, then we're the first kind of response to be there to support the Korean Marines and services over there. So we flew commercial over to Korea. So I leave Okinawa, tropical, humid, hot as hell, and we fly into Korea. We fly into Seoul, commercial. And we get there and we get picked up and it starts snowing on us. So it was like it's just a complete shock. Like we're over there in the tropics and now it's snowing. This is so weird. And they drove us out really, like I think about an hour away from, I can't remember the name of the Air Force base that we were near. But like you mentioned a dog. You mentioned a dog earlier, and I know
Kadena or Chinhae, one of those maybe.
No, Chinhae is a Navy base at the bottom. Yeah. Kadena would be up in there, or maybe Tagu was one of the two. Tagu or Kadena. Yeah. Kadena was in Okinawa, so Tagu was probably.
So they took us from the airport to this Air Force base. We stayed there for the night, and then our unit came and picked us up. Well, the Hawaii Marines that were over there, they picked us up, and then they took us out to. It was about an hour away from the Air Force base where they train the Rock Marines.
Those are crazy. Those are crazy dudes. And Rock Marines, bruh.
Yes, they are. They're insane. I really had fun with them, but they're crazy. So we drive out there, and we're in like tent city and stuff out there. Well, my job while I was over there, I was in the mess, so I had nothing to do with supply at all. But it was just fun to go do it. But we worked like a 24 on, 24 off, and we were like partnered up with the Rock Marines. So every time you were doing a job, you'd have a partner there with you. Well, they didn't speak English either, So it's like, well, I'm used to that because a lot of Okinawans don't speak English over there. So we're trying to figure each other out and work together on the posts and stuff. And at the very end of this 30-day exercise, they gave us a night of liberty. They went and bought a bunch of beer, American beer, and all this stuff, and
Budweiser. That's what they used to bring us.
They put a karaoke machine in the limo tent, and those guys drank all of our beer, and they were like, I mean, it was gone quick, and we're like, what the hell are we supposed to drink? And they brought us soju.
Soju, yes, sir.
Let's go.
The good old soju tents, that rice wine vinegar.
Yeah, man. They used to go, hey.
And so
hit the soju tent on the way out.
Yeah.
Don't hit that thing on the way in. We had guys do that. They were fighting themselves in the bathroom stall. It was crazy, dude.
Themselves.
Crazy.
Rewiping and all that.
Rewiping and everything, dude. They made, what was that? It was like a pina colada kind of drink that they made with the soju, and you were like, this tastes just like, I don't know, pina colada, non-alcoholic. You drink two of them things, dude. You were not making it out of the cab on the way back, bro. Bad.
The hangover, my God.
And there was no taste to it, so you didn't even know, right?
You had no clue. But so they're feeding us. We've got soju. They drink all our beer. They're hammered, and we've got a karaoke machine. Well, this was at the very end of the exercise. When I went over there, there was only a handful of females at the CP. Well, by the end of, I was in the rear party, so I was the only female. Besides, we had a female first sergeant and a female major that was with us in charge of everybody. They were from the Hawaii detachment that was over there. So I'm the only woman at this point, and I'm like in a huge tent by myself at this point, and we're all drunk and doing karaoke and stuff. Well, I told all of the guys, I said, don't make me sing. Please don't make me sing. Please don't even let me sing if I want to sing. If I get drunk and I want to sing, don't let me do it, because these guys are like crazy, and I'm in the tent by myself. And so I guess it just happened. And they're like, okay, I'll go sing. So I start singing. Holy shit. Those guys went crazy. They were like, my maiden name is Waller. So they were like, Waller, we love you. You are pretty cute. And I was like, oh my God. I was terrified.
You had groupies. Let's
They were
go.
like, I want to email you. I'm like, email me.
You're Britney Spears.
That's so funny.
They were hilarious. But so that
Well,
night,
they got to listen to themselves sing karaoke, so you already know that like, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Like, and then aside from like all of that stuff, we got to go. One day they took us over to the DMZ, and I think hands down probably that would probably be my favorite thing that I ever got to do in the Marines.
Super cool. Yeah, the DMZ is cool.
Yeah.
The DMZ, and I was terrified while I was there. Like I was not scared of anything ever, all the time. It was good. We go to the DMZ, and I'm like, what the hell did I do this for? This is cool because you do it because it's the only opportunity in your life you'll ever get to go here. But why did I choose to go with all of these morons? Like, they tell us right before we went outside, like we watched this video, they tell us a lot of history about how this is developed and why the DMZ exists and all this stuff. And then they're like, okay, so now we're going to walk outside onto this platform and stairs out of this building, and you'll be looking in North Korea. Yeah. And they tell us about all the little buildings on the line and all this stuff. And they're like, so when you go out there, there's North Korean soldiers and South Korean soldiers, and they're like it's just all day long on their post. And they said, don't make any like quick movements, don't yell.
No middle fingers, no hand gestures.
Don't.
It was really hard for Al to go there.
And I was like, it'd be so hard for you. It'd be so hard. But like I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was 22. I think I was 22, about 22 or 23. So I was older than a lot of the Marines of my same rank. And I was a corporal then, but so I don't know. I just thought this was a really dumb decision for me. And I'm standing on the platform when we walk out the building, and I see those North Korean guys, and I look around and I'm like, oh shit, this is just dangerous. Like, this is dumb.
Well, you're seeing that.
Can we get inside one of those houses, please?
You know what's scarier than the DMZ? Fallujah.
I'm sure. I'm definitely sure of that. But
Ty can attest.
It was terrifying. We weren't armed. We didn't have a chance.
Yeah,
think about it back then.
Shit pops off, you're dead.
Yeah, we were just targets at that point.
Yeah, but back then when you go to the DMZ, right, you're walking into a place where you see the thin, delicate line between peace and chaos. Like it just takes a pin drop in, and it is going down. Like it's crazy. And just the fact that they hate each other, right? Mm-hmm. Literally, and they just stand and look at each other. I wonder if any of them ever become friends, though. Hey, Bob.
They had
glasses. Going on, Joe?
They got their little aviators on.
Their little sunglasses on,
just standing there with that.
I always thought it was crazy interesting how far the actual line of demarcation went back. They almost went up into China, and then the Chinese joined it and pushed it back. So, I mean, no wonder the tensions are so high. But like, I've never been there, but I've heard that that'll take your breath away too.
Mm-hmm. It did. So when Trump was in his first term and he walked over, when Kim Jong-un invited him over, like I've been right there. We walked into that building that was to the left. The blue building, I think, was to his left when he walked over. That building, they let us go inside. And so when we went in the building, there's a big conference table, and even down to the speaker, and the line of the speaker is on the demarcation line. And they're like, so you're standing on this side of the table. And they said, okay, there's a South Korean guard at that door over there, but we're going to let you guys walk around the table. And when you do, you'll be about 10 feet into North Korea. And as soon as you walked around the table, you were just I don't know. It just hit you. Like, I am not supposed to be right here. This is crazy. Just you're in this little metal blue building, and that's okay. But I'm also in North Korea right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know how it feels when you're not supposed
to. In here.
Yeah, well, I know what it feels like when you're not supposed to be somewhere like within 100 feet of a school. Like, that shit sucks. Like, it's fucking not supposed to be here, but here I am.
All right, so I think real quick, Ty, let's take a quick break so that we can come in and talk with Aubrey about transition, what it was like to get out, and then what she's doing now, and how people can follow and support her. So if you guys are cool, I think you should take us out to a break real quick, rest, stretch. I'll go check and rewipe, and then we'll
going
be right
to wipe,
back.
bro. I'm gonna do a quick rewipe. I'll be back.
All right, we'll be right back.
On average, we lose 22 veterans to suicide every single day. These heroes who once fought for our freedom now battle invisible wounds. Mission 22 is dedicated to healing our veterans and providing them the support they need. As a leader in our community, we stand with Mission 22 as we believe in giving back to those who have given up so much for us. It's our way of saying thank you for your service. For more information, visit mission22.com.
Keep rocking while filling my body up with these toxins. Eyes on the prize, homie, I'm locked in. Motherfucker, plan B, ain't no other option. This been the plan and I won't ever stop it. Gotta get it by any means. I can't chill, I'm too focused on getting green. Stuff my pockets with so much it split the seams. Now it's reality, no longer a dream. Man, fuck all that fantasy shit. I got tired of counting up sheep. Now I'm counting money. Y'all won't think it's funny when y'all see me buy a new house on the beach. Retire my mother and father, leave millions for both of my daughters for when I'm deceased. My brother sell drugs, he risking his freedom. My goal is to get his ass off of the streets. Yeah, you don't know what I've been through.
All right, I was waiting for you to get back out.
Yeah.
I was trying to stretch a little bit.
I appreciate. I had to use the bathroom. Had to pee. I'd have to rewipe. I had done that earlier. We're good.
Streaky or not?
Nope, I was good. Clean.
All right, so
Nice.
Bob, here's the deal. At the end of the show, Ty is going to put up the shirts with some QR codes, and all you need to do is take your phone and point the camera at it. Then this little yellow box is going to come up, and you go buy that bitch, and you can buy all 3 today, and we'll get them shipped out to you. But make sure you buy 2 that say whiskey on them, because we already know that you don't like that beer. You like that whiskey, though. You need 2 of those shirts. Just saying. Oh, sorry. Shameless plug. Anyway,
All right, that's acceptable. Speaking of the shirts, I'm gonna go ahead and just show them right now. Here's Al Hero's shirt. Who are you going to be benefiting out?
Mr. Phenomenal. I don't know yet. I really don't know. Give me. I'll let you know this week, Ty.
That's fine. You got plenty of time. No problem at all. We got a year.
Single mothers on poles. Is that an organization?
I don't think that's a nonprofit. That's definitely for.
That is definitely for profit. Yeah, 100%.
Here's the whiskey talk, whiskey conversations.
That's right.
I think yeah. Matt's shirt. I think he did.
It's not dirty. Fair, man. Matt's is always.
It's not because his says triple threat on it. Like he did us dirty, bro.
Yeah, look how cool his shit is.
Yeah, he did.
And
us
then
dirty.
There's mine.
Hey, listen,
Wax poetic, baby.
You guys can be haters all you want, but
I don't think I'm hating.
Dirty,
I'm saying yours is the best.
Yeah, yours is the best looking, bro. You did us fucking dirty.
Fucking of course, dude. I've got to get every advantage I can because we know when you two jokers get onto social media and start going crazy as shit, everybody's gonna watch. So I just got to make sure that my shit looks good. So that I get.
He is true. We are crazier than he is, but he's gonna design a better shirt than us. So.
Of course, bitch ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay, Al. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna buy your shirt. I'm gonna wear that bitch with no pants. Just
make sure you send me a picture because I could use that for my advertising. Yeah.
You better zoom. You better got Zoom on your camera.
Oh, dude, if you've got like the whole what's that movie again? If you got the whole hangover situation jumping out of the trunk, dude, it's cool. I got it. No big deal. Yeah, you fucking chow. That's all good, dude.
Well, I'm really enjoying having Aubrey Lynn in. What I really like to hear is like you can hear behind her words, you can hear how much she enjoyed, being there doing a 3-person, classic rock band, and just the experience that she took away from that. I heard the sentiment in her voice about she just wanted to leave the 101st thing alone because that was her pops thing. Like that, I totally understand that because, I was raised by a Marine myself, and he was a Vietnam era Marine. So, I almost joined the Marines, but I was like, no, I better leave that alone because that's too big of a role model to have to live up to, my father. So I joined the Army. But let's get her back on. I want to talk more about the music.
Her eyes are mesmerizing, like her blue eyes. I've got shit color eyes. I'm like, this is bullshit. Matt's got a better shirt. She has amazing eyes, and I'm stuck with rewiping and shit eyes. Like, this isn't bullshit.
Bro. Well, you heard the
your eyes
song,
match
right?
what you have to do every time you walk around the house. Rewipe, dude. It's all good, bro. No big deal.
Shit. Yeah,
you heard a little sample of her voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel guilty because
here's another one. Check this one out.
Go ahead.
Love me tonight. It don't make no mind to me. You've got everything this woman needs. You can love me any way that you please.
Woo!
It's crazy.
Here's what I like. Like, when
That's
you can
crazy.
sustain it, and you just feel it down in your cockles, all through your body. Like, that's the kind of stuff I love, where you like throwing your heart out.
Did you just say?
He said cockles.
In your cockles, man.
Move past that.
Well, I don't mean it as a dirty thing. I mean as in feel it.
He means it in the true definition of the word. You need to look that up later, Al.
Yeah.
We know you don't know what that shit means. I don't either, so call me and let me know what the
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm gonna go as soon as we get off the show, bro. I got you.
But she's got that like traditional, like old feel, like they told stories in those songs.
I'm a country music guy.
I mean?
I'm the country music guy on this podcast. I love country.
Classic.
Period. And she's country.
Like, I thought she was a rapper, dude.
Fuck no, bro. I don't listen to that fucking hippity hoppity bullshit.
You liar.
I do when I'm working out. When I'm working out.
You go from Jesus is everything to killing motherfuckers in the hood. Like, that's your range of music, dude.
Hey, you're right. I do listen to a lot of Jesus.
I know.
Stuff, you know what I'm saying? Love me some Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So funny.
Oh my Lord.
Well,
anyway.
What do you say we bring her back?
Yeah, let's bring her back. I want to hear about how she got into music. Yes. All right, Marine.
Welcome back.
Tell me how you got into post-military.
Tangent. Yeah, well, before we get there for post-military, first, I would like to just go through, like, you did your 4, decided to get out. So why the decision to get out active duty and go into the IRR? Was there a specific reason you decided to leave out? And then kind of walk through like what that transition was like for you.
So my goal whenever I went in was I want to pay for school. And so like when I was going to A&M, I was struggling a little bit with, I went to a 5A high school, and there's a little scholarship money you could get if you was in the top quarter, but I wasn't in the top 10 of my graduating class. So it was kind of hard to get a lot of money to help pay for school, and A&M's expensive. And so I think that was kind of the thing that I got my dad convinced that I had made a good plan with, is that I was going to go to the Marine Corps to pay for school, since I was having such a struggle with it, on my own. So I wanted to go get school money, and I wanted to be a sergeant before I got out. So I was like, I think I can do this. And if it takes 4 years, if it takes 8 years, if it takes longer than that, I can do it. So like, that was just my main goal. I wanted to be a sergeant. So I ended up picking up sergeant in 3 years, and it was not meritorious, and it was just by score. And I don't know. I trained well, shot well, that I did all my, things that a good Marine should do. And I picked up, but the reason I think that I didn't re-enlist is because my dad died. So in my last unit I left Okinawa and I went to Pendleton. So I was with 11th Marines when I got there. I was actually with a Victory unit at this point. I'd never been with one yet. So I was with 11th Marines Headquarters Battery, and I was in the supply shop. So now I'm doing using unit supply. I don't know anything about what my job is. So the younger Marines are now teaching me how to do supply because it was stuff I hadn't done since I was in MOS school. And I was there for 3 months before my dad passed away. And so I come home, you know, I was still a corporal when I came home, but right before I got home, my master sergeant called me and he said I picked up. So I go home to bury my dad, and I just picked up sergeant. So it was kind of, you know, it was bittersweet. Like, I made it, but dad, he didn't get to see it. And so whenever I went back, and I don't know what really was going on in the company office, but they needed somebody to take over with training, and I was picking up sergeant. So I got to be the new training NCO for my unit there. And I mean, I was just kind of struggling, grieving my dad, and then going into this new job. But I kicked ass at being a training NCO. It was probably my favorite job that I did in the Marine Corps because we got to do everything. We set up all the training for, I think we had about 600 Marines in our artillery unit there. So I was setting up, like, you know, I did all their PFTs, and I did all the clerical stuff, had to weigh everybody and do all that stuff. But I also got to set up like grenade ranges and just fun training that you don't get to do all the time, 155 shoots and stuff. Like, we got to do all that with them, and that was not really a supply accountant's job to go and do that kind of training. And so it was fun for me to go out there and blow shit up. That was really fun. But like, I was transitioning and grieving, and so I into that job from supply into a new unit from Japan, and from, you know, hadn't been there for so long. And I started having these migraines really bad. And I thought maybe it was just, I don't know, maybe it was just I was under so much stress. And so I was at the clinic, the freaking base clinic, every day for a long time. And then finally they sent me over, and they were testing my eyes and doing CT scans and seeing if I had any kind of blockages or anything like that, or masses. And they couldn't figure out what was triggering and causing me to have migraines, but they diagnosed me chronic, like a few months after they'd started. Like, it was that bad. And so I was missing a lot of work, you know, just, I couldn't go to work. I was just beat up with these migraines all day. And they would give me this really heavy medicine to kick it out. And it would just make me sleep a lot, like Imitrex and all these narcotic type stuff. They tried everything. So if I wanted to re-enlist, I think that I probably wouldn't have even had an opportunity to. They wouldn't have recommended me for re-enlistment. But I also just wanted to come home, and my mom and my brother and sister were here, and I like I said, I was single at the time, didn't have any family or children or anything like that of my own. So I just decided maybe I need to go home, just be close to home, help mom and my brother and sister with, you know, just taking care of stuff because dad's gone. And then the migraine thing, I think it was just kind of, I don't think that would have happened really. I don't know. They've done a lot of MRI work and seen that I've got nerve damage in my neck, on my cervical nerve. And that could be part of the problem. I would just have a training injury, and whenever you stress, I carry a lot of stress on my shoulders, and it just pinches that damaged nerve in my cervical nerve, and it just eats me alive. So I don't know. I think I just wanted to be home, and then, you know, my body intervened and said, you know, you can't do this anymore anyway. So I came home, and I knew that I wanted to do music my entire life. My dad was a musician. A lot of my family were musicians, and I wrote music and played music and sang since I could open my mouth and make noises come out of my mouth. I was singing. So I just wanted to come home and be with mom and see if I could start doing music. And that's kind of where I jumped out of the Marine Corps and started doing music at that point. I went to a lot of like open mic nights and stuff around the area that I was living in. Just started writing and recording my own stuff. And I'd never really done that before. I'd recorded stuff. I'd sang a lot of cover work and stuff, but I'd never really done my own stuff. And it just was such a different world that I was ready to jump into. And it was therapeutic to me. So I enjoyed the fact that I could be my own boss and do that kind of work, because the migraine thing was just keeping me from being able to do anything else, like on someone else's schedule. So I could talk for
I have
days.
migraines. I have migraines. They suck bad. Yeah, migraines.
So, so you said, so growing up, like you always sang, you did all that stuff. Like at what point, I know you came back and you said you wanted to start writing your own music, but as you were going through that journey, at what point did you say, you know, I think I can be like, I can do this music thing, is like, I can turn this into something that could be a career for me. I can go that route. Because if you've always sang your whole life, you know you can do it. But what was the thing that made you go, oh yeah, I can definitely do this. I can, I don't, compete's probably a bad word, but I can push myself and I can be like an artist that does this for a living. Like, what was the moment for you?
So I live in North Texas, and I don't know if it's like this all over everywhere. I know that I've played a lot in Houston. I have a lot of friends in the Houston area that play music and are songwriters. And so I think it might be a little similar, but I know here, there are so many people in this community up here that write and perform original music around here. And I went to a lot of these open mic nights. I met a lot of people when I first started playing, and then we would go to like songwriter nights on, you know, open mics would be Wednesday and a songwriter night would be Monday, and then people would play on the weekends. And so I just kind of met this community of songwriters around here that gave me a lot of confidence to do it myself. And then you get connected with a network of producers and people who run studios and radio promoters and DJs and stuff. And there's a humongous independent scene for an independent musician. And so when I was growing up, it was always like, well, you got to make it big. You know, you got to get a record deal. And growing up in Garland, I sang at the Garland Opry. Well, the Garland Opry is where Leanne Rimes was. I grew up around her. I didn't know her. I think she's a little bit older than me, but she was singing in those places. And like, that was kind of the model when you were a young girl who sang, like, oh, you gotta, you know, somebody's got to discover you and you got to get a record deal and all these things. And you have to audition for all these shows when they started popping up. And I did all of that stuff, but, I felt comfortable. I felt like, you know, these people are really doing this and they make a living doing it. And I can do that too. I can play shows. I can put a band together. I can write my own music. And I had an opportunity to do so because there was, at the time, I know I said I didn't want to talk about it, but I was previously married, and I didn't have kids until my first daughter was born in 2009. So like from the time I got out, I had a couple of years to kind of just, I don't know, get my feet wet and going around and meeting the community of music, independent musicians around here. And they were all making a living doing it. And I was like, well, I can at least make some money doing it, you know? And there were a lot of these contests. So I would go around and then you'd get a gig at one of the bigger venues in Dallas or Fort Worth. And I would do those. And we've had those opportunities, or opportunity to play on the radio stations and stuff like that. So like there was a lot of support system, I think, for being an independent songwriter and performer. And so I just felt like this was something I could really do, and I didn't have to rely on making it big to do it, you know?
Yeah, I think that's. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, just because I'm a huge country fan. Like that's kind of the music we listen to at the house. My daughter, my kids, we grew up listening to the old country, the real country, not pop country, but like the original, like the Keith Whitleys and those types of countries, right? So who were some of your influences growing up? Like who kind of did you follow and that, you know, kind of got you into just influence your style or your type of music?
I love so many different country music artists. My dad, I don't say it like just to be vague. I say it because my dad was my, until I knew who famous people and singers were. I didn't, my dad, he was famous to me. He had a band and he played and sang all the time, and he was the superstar to me. So when I started like growing up and realizing and finding, music that I liked and stuff, I was listening to what they were listening to, like, of course, the Willie, the Whalens, all those, but Reba McEntire and Dolly and Tammy, and then, Trisha Yearwood comes around, and Martina McBride, and all of these huge vocalists were the ones that caught my attention because I had, my dad called a cannon. He'd say, you have a cannon. You have to figure out how to control that thing, but you do have one. And so I guess I gravitated toward the big vocalists, and I loved how there were so many women involved in country music, like through the 90s and the 80s. And I didn't realize at that point in my life how difficult it was for them to come up in that whole scene of music to get to where there was a Reba that everybody went, wow, and now, Miranda and Lainey and all these other women that are just dominating. And I grew up listening to Christopherson and his writing, and I think Patsy Cline, if anybody ever asks me what kind of music I listen to, I tell them I listen to anything from Pantera to Patsy Cline. Like, that's what I mean by it's not just country music that I love. I just love great music and something that just makes you feel good. And so there's emotions and different kind of music for all kinds of emotions. And I feel like that's why I listen to so many different things. But as far as country music goes, the classic, at least up until through the 90s was like my favorite type of country music, from the
it's still mine. 90s where it's at. I you catch me in the car by myself, I might be playing it, singing at the top of my lungs a little Reba McEntire fancy. You never know. You never know. You never know. I might be fancy. I might be fancying up in the car, bro.
I got a mission for April. When he sings that song, Fancy April, I need a video.
Yes, so do I.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Don't get me on some whiskey. I'll be on some fancy.
All right, here we go. Hey, you can come down to Houston this year, Al, and you can go see her at the rodeo.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. You said you don't come to Texas. You live in DeSantis country or some
I'm
shit.
coming. Ty told me I wasn't allowed back in the state after I made some comments.
Not talking all that shit you talk about Texas. I don't want you to get hurt, homie. I care for you. These Texas people, you can't fuck around with Texas.
You cross the line, they're like, that bitch is back. Get him, y'all.
I'll bet up like 50, bro.
They know.
Don't worry.
They got an air tag on you.
They got an
air tag on your ass.
So it's like cross the state line. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
I finally paid your toll fees to your state, so I'm allowed to drive there legally.
Oh, yeah? You ain't riding dirty
Did
no
you
more?
pay mine? I got a bill too.
Good night, Kinsey.
Good night.
Good night. Hey, Aubrey, let me ask you this question. So when you're just driving around the car right now, non-country song, not one of your songs, what song are you singing out, belting out in the car right now?
It's hard for me because every time I get in the car, 105.3 The Fan is on. So I'm a Tolo. You don't even know what that is, Al. He's like, what?
She got you. Look at that. Look, Al's like,
I'm Googling it right now.
I don't know. It's really hard. Not country and not something in mine. What do I listen to?
Well, I mean, if you're what song are you just driving around singing all the time if it's one of yours? Well,
so my husband runs the studio that I record in. That's where I'm at now. And he has clients. Like there's a client. Let me give a shout out to my garage right now because my husband and his clients are out there watching us. And it's weird because they're like in the other. They're like,
what's up in the garage?
What up, garage peeps?
Out there.
Aubrey's killing it.
He's always
Marine. Aubrey, ask him, do they re-wipe when you go out there? I want to know if it's just me or all men. Yes, they re-wipe. Them motherfuckers in that garage.
They're banging on the wall right now.
They re-wipe.
That's right. There you go.
So he has musicians that record with him. We record all kinds of music, and he always has the newest thing. So if I don't really listen to music on the radio as much unless my kids are in the car and they put something on, but we're listening to the newest recorded music out of WarRoom Studios. So right now we've been listening to his client John that's out there, or we listen to Jeff Hobson, or we listen to Shelby Ballinger, we listen to Todd James, we listen to all these people you don't know what I'm talking about, but
It's
the
still cool,
newest
though.
recorded client out of the studio, the newest independent stuff he's put down, that's what we're listening to in the car.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking about.
Nice. Hey, Al, I don't think I think Bob said that last week he wasn't feeling good, so he wasn't here. But Bob, I just want to let you know that last week Al let everyone know that he beat retardation twice. So
I did. I overcame it.
He overcame it twice.
That and autism. I beat them both. I did. I beat them. I had them. I got us. They were both sexually transmitted, Bob, and I got rid of them with penicillin and Motrin, and it takes care of that.
We know that Bob is not winning the spelling bee, though. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
No, Bob.
I don't know what a retard deed is, but I get the gist. I didn't notice it till he put it big on the screen.
Nice. I like that.
I don't think we can say that there,
CIA Bob.
What, deed?
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that anymore.
We didn't say
That's what I
it.
heard.
We said deed.
Anyway.
What y'all talking about? Anyway, so talk to us a little bit about what's going on for you right now. What's coming up for you here soon? Tell everybody where they can see you, where they can find you, how they can get in touch with you, how they can support you. Do you guys sell merch? Give us all the details.
All right. So the single that you guys played for me, thank you so much for that. We just released that. Don't Make No Mind is out on, I call it Texas radio, but it actually goes way beyond that. So there's a lot of internet stations that we get radio play from all up and down the East and West Coast, in the Midwest, over in European countries, and all the way over to New Zealand. We get a lot of radio play on internet stations that play independent music. And there's a lot of terrestrial stations all across the state of Texas that you can call in and request those songs from. So please call in and say, I want to hear Aubrey Lynn at Don't Make No Mind. That would be awesome for me. And we just released a music video that goes with that. And so on my YouTube channel, you can find the official music video for that song and the other singles that we've released off this album. And on, my next show that we have coming up, next Wednesday, I have a Facebook Live that's going to be on the 26th at 7:00. So on my Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/Aubrey Lynn Music, and any of my social media accounts. If you /Aubrey Lynn Music, you should be able to find me. And then on the 28th, we'll be playing a live show acoustic at the Rail Yard Tap Room in Van Alstyne, Texas at 7.
I see one issue with your February dates.
Uh-oh.
And March, for that matter. I don't see anything in Houston, Texas. What's going on?
I don't know. I haven't played in Houston in a long time, so
it's a shithole. You don't want to go there. It's a shithole.
So here's the thing, for real. No joking. After this, I want to connect with you because I want to get you in touch with a couple of people here that I don't know. Maybe they can help you get gigs down in Houston. I don't know if you guys come this far.
Yeah.
It is a shithole according to Al. That's why he still lives in Florida.
So I think the last time we were in or near Houston last May, we were down there in spring. I think it was in spring.
Spring, yeah.
It was spring, and we did we were nominated for music video of the year with the Texas Music Association, and so we went to the award show. I can't remember the name of that place. It was awesome. Oh, Sawyer Park. Is Sawyer Park in spring?
Yep. That's what you were talking about today, Ty.
I'm going to be at Sawyer Park on Friday with Bubba Wesley.
Bubba Wesley, yeah.
So, and I'm acquainted with Bubba. I've met him, but I don't know Bubba very good. But I love his music. He's awesome.
The Versace Cowboy is a pretty cool dude.
I named him Versace Cowboy because he wears some crazy shit.
Well, so I had a few years back, we used to go play. Do you guys know who Charlie Diggs is?
Heard the name.
I've heard Charlie Diggs. Yeah.
He promotes a lot of shows and stuff down in the Houston area. So I used to go play. He would have his birthday bash in February, like at Mason's, and we played another one. I can't remember where it was in spring also.
Moe's Tavern.
That's Katie.
Oh, okay.
No, it was like it was a big old dance hall. I can't remember the name of that one. That was the last one that I did. It was
the barn. The barn.
Maybe.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But I mean, that was like a big deal where they would put a bunch of us on. So like Josh Ward and Jody Booth, and I mean, just every Houston act that there is, and like they pull me in, for some reason. I don't know why, because just because I knew Jody and Sundance.
Because you're fucking awesome and you can sing your ass off. That's why they did it. Let's be honest.
Tell me tonight, it don't make no mind to me. You've got everything this woman needs. You can love me any way that you please.
Shit speaks
Anyway,
for its fucking self. Enough said.
That's why they got you on there.
Fucking mic drop.
Well, we definitely need to get you to Houston because we would
love
like to
that.
come see you perform, so we can introduce you to some people that may be able to help with that. I don't know if you play softball, but you might get an invite for that here pretty soon.
I could try to play softball.
Who cares? It's a celebrity game. Nobody's out there to win except the celebrities. So,
Yeah, last year I got to kick it with Cody Jinks. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
Nice. I know
Yeah.
Cody. So
Well,
okay.
you kicked it on somebody's lap though too.
I
that
sat in
was-
Josh Redding's lap.
Whenever let me tell you my quick Cody Jinks story, if I can be quick. So whenever I kind of established myself a little bit, recorded some music, and was still, booking and gigging and trying to make my way up here in North Texas. So I got invited. This is before I met my husband, where I had briefly met him, but I got invited to come and sing on a song at a studio that was somebody I didn't know. And I was like, did y'all write this song? This song's amazing. They're like, no, it's a cover. So we go and I'm just singing background vocals on this song. And while I'm in there, they're like, hey, take a verse. So it ended up being a duet. And we got done with it and we're listening to it. I was like, this is really freaking good. And I've had a couple of songs that got a little bit of radio play. So I was like, I know some DJs. I'll just pass it around and see what they think about this song, because I think everybody needs to hear this song. So I send it around. They're like, holy crap, we have to play this now. Is it ready to go? And we're like, no, let us get a promoter. So we finally get a promoter. We get it going. We start getting radio play. And we got a #1 song with Chris Stapleton's Whiskey and You. So we covered it, but it was like a duet that we did. It was like a really awesome, different take on the song. And we were at the very end of the push to try and get it to the top of the chart. They were like, you need to do a music video. Well, we hadn't done a music video. So like, I mean, I hadn't. I don't know if anybody else, that was involved had or not, but I hadn't done one. And so it was like my first music video. And we had this whole storyline that was portrayed in the video, and Dustin came up with all of this cool stuff. Well, so we needed, in the storyline, we needed a homeless guy.
I could play that part. Great.
Well, I don't know. I guess we were like, who would be great for this? Chris Stapleton, because he's like got the big beard and all that. And we'll never get Chris Stapleton, but who else do we know with beards? And we just were like, Cody Jinks. And so we called Cody, and he just happened to be driving in from a run, and he was near where we were in Bowie, and which is far from here even, but he was like, yeah, I'll be there in just a little bit. He pulls in, and we have this scene in the video of an AA meeting. And at the end of he's the homeless guy throughout the whole, you'll see him cameo through the whole thing. But at the end, he walks into this AA meeting and he sits down, and he just played the perfect homeless guy. It's wild to me that we just picked up the phone and called him. And I know Cody for since I started doing music. So those open mics and little acoustic things that I first started doing music on, his show was one of them. I played at the Love Shack in Denton, this burger place out there. He had a Monday night show, and I went and played with him for many, many months and probably a couple of years. And And we just call him up when we're having this really good run with a song. And he's like, yeah, I'll come do your video. And he just comes to be the homeless guy. And the next thing you know, Cody Jinks everybody knows Cody Jinks. We're like, this is so crazy because he was our homeless guy in our video. So I want you to look on YouTube, look up Chapter 11, Whiskey and You, featuring Aubrey Lynn, because I was a feature on it. So Chapter 11, Whiskey and You is the song, and you'll see Cody is the guy in our video.
He's excelled since then. He was the coach at the softball game and said, I don't play ball. I tell players how to play ball. And they was like, I'm not playing. I'm just here to make sure we win. And they cheated and won. And
they cheated.
They cheated.
Oh,
They
no.
did celebrities.
Dang.
That was good. Well, Aubrey, I tell you what, it was a pleasure to have you on. I'm sure we could talk to you for a long time after about a whole bunch of other things, but I'm hoping that we get to talk to you again. I'm hoping to see you down in the Houston area sometime soon. Al, she might find it in her heart to go to Florida, but we'll see. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I'm excited for your future and what's going on. And thank you for sharing the tour dates. And if anybody's out there, you heard her on here. You got to go check it out. There's no better music than live music, right?
Yeah.
Nothing
absolutely.
better. So if she sounds that good when they played it on the show, imagine what it's going to sound like in person. So that's all I'll say.
Thank you
That's
guys
what
for
I'm talking
having me. This has been a lot of fun. I enjoyed getting to just
Oh, you thought
let my hair down with y'all. This was fun.
we were
wait a
done?
minute. Oh,
Oh, we're not done.
Oh, we're not done? Okay.
No, we're not done. First tie
Okay.
has to make
I
you
still have
feel
a drink, so let's go.
really, really
That's what I'm
uncomfortable
talking
about,
about.
answering questions. So
I asked for a drink. My husband brought me some Fireballs, so that's fun.
Oh, very
oh
nice.
yes.
Well,
whiskey
you've,
too.
You've been answering long form questions here for a while and kind of been waxing poetic. So what we're going to do now is do some more just get to know you questions, kind of like quick answer kind of questions. So we'll drop the guys down and I'll start some music here, and it'll be some, just some basic. Some of them be funny, some of them be,
It's like a game show.
oh yeah. All right. First question. What is your favorite movie?
The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Okay. Did you watch Wicked?
Yes, I did. Loved
What'd
it.
you think about Wicked?
I loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, I got 4 daughters, so naturally we went and saw Wicked a couple times, and so we're already counting down to go see Wicked during
Part
Thanksgiving
2.
next year. Yeah, absolutely. All right, what is the best advice you've ever given as a parent?
As a parent, I give some probably really neurotic advice, but best advice.
Well, the reason I asked because I saw that you have 6 kids. I have 6 kids as well. So I've always said once you get past having more parents than there are kids, then you're outnumbered. So you got to start giving some pretty good advice. So what do you think? Some of your best advice to your kids?
It's hard. Why do you have to ask me something so hard? That's ridiculously hard.
Because we
There are a
like
lot
to
of-
wax poetic. We got to get to know you.
I really just tell them, like, the best advice that my dad ever gave me and my mom ever gave me was that they would always be proud of me in anything I ever tried to do, as long as I tried, as long as I gave it everything I had to give. So that's what I tell them. Just try to strive for excellence in everything you do.
Very nice. I like it. All right. If you have a 1-hour conversation to have with any one person, living or dead ever, who you're going to have the conversation with, and what's the conversation going to be about?
Because my dad's my hero, so I'd have to say dad. He's gone. So. I was in my early 20s when I lost him, so a conversation as an adult would be appreciated with him. Anybody else? Donald J. Trump. I think we'd have a lot to talk about.
What would you talk about?
Probably music, because I know that he loves it so much, and maybe he could give me some pointers on financial stuff.
Dancing?
Get ahead.
Give you some dancing advice?
Oh, we're definitely dancing. We're doing that for sure.
Gotcha. All right, let's see. What is the last show or movie that made you cry?
I think I was crying last night. We watched The Gorge it's on Apple TV. It's a new movie that just came out. It's got Miles Teller in it. I think guy that was in Top Gun Maverick. I was crying in that last night. I don't know why I was crying.
The Gorge. I might have to check that out. Yeah,
It was good. It was really good. The Gorge.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. If you wrote a book about your life, what would the title be?
I would probably call it "You Don't Know Me Like I Do." I have a song that I wrote called "You Don't Know Me Like I Do," and it pretty much describes a lot of my struggles and triumphs through my life. You don't know me like I do.
That's good. I'll have to listen to that one next. I'm not listening to that one next or yet. All right. Last question, and this is the most important. Who's the greatest all time? Prince or Michael Jackson?
Prince. It's Prince for me.
Okay.
I love Michael. I love Michael. Love the Jackson 5. Actually, the client that my husband's working with right now, I actually had to bump them out of the studio so I could do your podcast today. He has a song and they put a bass line on it. And I was like, can we get a little Tito on there? So I love Michael, love the Jackson 5, but Prince, oh my God, what a talent. I love him, admire him very much.
Papa's got a brand new bag. I just want your hand to time, yo.
We do Purple Rain in my set with my band. It's fun.
Yeah, well, you survived. You've gotten through Taco Talks. That's a big point of contention with Prince and Michael Jackson. So you answered pretty quick. So you said that Michael Jackson's awesome. So is there anybody else you would put in that conversation? Being that here's what I'll tell you is there's a reason I use the James Brown. So I love music. So I'll wax poetic about music all day. But there's one voice I want to ask you about. Janis Joplin, like you mentioned, is that the one? Okay.
So
tell me about you and Janis Joplin.
I love Janis. I actually get compared to Janis a lot, and when I'm out performing, if we haven't played, anything of Janis, I'll get requested. Hey, can you do any Janis? And I'm like, I'll do Janis, but I do. Chris Christopherson he wrote me and Bobby McGee, and she recorded that song. So that's my go-to. But my favorite Janis song is Little Girl Blue. And that's kind of like B-side compared to a lot of her other songs. But Little Girl Blue was an inspiration of mine to write one of my songs that you'll also have to check out called Sad Little Girl. So you can kind of see the comparisons between Little Girl Blue and Sad Little Girl. I love Janis. I love how free she was and how carefree she was. She just let it all hang out. And when I'm performing and when I'm singing, I know that zone. I get there. I don't know. It's the most free place that I can ever imagine myself being is singing on stage, just letting it all hang out.
Yeah, absolutely love it. My mother loved Janis Joplin. She was a big Aerosmith fan. So
Yeah.
I could imagine you singing some Aerosmith too with the way I hear your voice.
Yes.
But anyway, I appreciate you very much. You've made it through the Taco Talks. Let's bring the guys back in.
Hey, Ty.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for not answering the question for the guest this week. I appreciate that.
Yeah, me
Well,
too.
that's the thing is we can ask Aubrey. If you ask that question a certain way, then there is definitely a prescribed response. If I were to say, Aubrey, who's the king of pop? What would you say?
Michael Jackson.
Right. And if you say who's the greatest entertainer of all time between those two, you'd probably say Prince. Right. Greatest songwriter, Prince. Greatest entertainer, Prince.
Prince wore assless chaps. I'm just saying, bro. If I could wear assless chaps to
And pull it off?
church, I'd
Yeah,
do it.
he wore them in public.
I would do it, bro.
Wait, you better re-wipe before you do.
Twice.
Hey, that's some good callbacks, Aubrey.
Just want you to be safe out there, buddy.
Better pocket some of them wet wipes, bruh.
I keep them on deck, bro.
Got stock in them things.
Well, we really enjoyed having you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would buy that.
So Ty didn't ask you one question that normally he does ask. So I do want to ask the question. So you record, you make music. I know that you've probably been on lots of podcasts and lots of interviews, done lots of press for the things that you do. You came on here with us. You hung out for a little bit. How would you rate us 1 to 10? And what can we do to get better? Because obviously we like to get better. So we do like to take that constructive criticism. So don't hold back.
Don't hold back.
Fuck.
I'm not going to give you a 10. But
Damn it.
I will give you a 9.5
Yes.
because you started out with the rewipe and the like taking a dump jokes. I don't know how this like was my lead in, but I wasn't expecting that. And I'm proud of you guys for just welcoming me in like I was family. No, look what you do and the questions you guys engage with are amazing. I love the support that you have for our veteran community. I think your show format is a lot of fun, and I have not done a lot of podcasts, but the ones I've done have not been as fun as yours. So 9.5.
Damn right.
There you go.
Make sure you write all of that in a nice social media post. Post it, boost it. I'm just kidding. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming. Your story is amazing. I love that that you stuck with music. I'm glad that you finally decided like, hey, I can do this, and I can't wait to see where it goes for you from there. So I mean, from our end, thank you for your service. Thanks for coming on, and we can't wait to talk to you again very, very soon.
Thank you guys for your service, and thank you for what you do for all of us. We appreciate it very much. And I need to get to Houston, so y'all give me a venue that I need to holler at so we can hang out.
Oh, I'm in. I'm done. We got it. Easy.
Hoorah.
Oh yeah, all over it. All over it.
We're just not inviting Al because he's going to be like ashless chaps on the beach with like flip flops or something.
I already
Come
emailed
on
the
stage.
Gulf
If
Coast
he wears
Blues
all that,
Association.
you're coming on stage.
Oh, don't play. I got
Oh,
my
don't
cowboy
say
hat.
that. Listen,
Don't turn
don't
me
say
into
that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people will say shit to Al to be like, oh, if you do that, then you're going to do this. Don't. Mm-mm.
No, I'm serious.
That's like the I double dog dare you. He's like, oh, I don't even care about those. I'll just do it because it's fun. Like it's happening. Hey, just make sure you check it before you go on stage, though, bro. You don't want to be embarrassed when you get on that stage.
I don't think I can get embarrassed.
If you didn't rewipe, you will.
All right,
Yeah,
hey
you're right.
Aubrey, we appreciate you very
Rewipe
much.
and rewipe.
Now
Before the
she's getting
stage,
into the
rewipe.
rewipe. I was trying to save her, but now she's talking about rewipe. So go
See,
ahead.
there we go. There we go. I love it.
Aubrey, we really appreciate you coming on the show. We'll
Thank
catch up
y'all.
with you very soon, sometime here in H-Town.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
You as
All
well.
right, take it easy, Marine.
Hoorah.
That was a lot of
See?
fun.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
she's awesome.
She's like in now, dude. She's telling you to rewipe and she's joking about it. Like, bro, she's
I'm gonna
in.
have to. I'm
Well,
gonna have
I mean,
to.
that's the funny thing is like Justin Till is the one that like recommended her. He's like, you know, I'm an entertainer. I know this Marine that's a singer. You know, she'd like to come on your show, and you know, we'll come on your show. I was like,
Dude.
okay, okay, I'll check that. So I listened to her voice. I was like, oh shit. And so immediately I was like, okay, yeah, we will definitely get you guys on.
Oh, when
as
I
soon as
told my
possible.
wife she was coming on, my wife was like, "You better be on your fucking best behavior."
And he
She's a-
totally
she's a-
was.
She's a lady,
Amen,
and
brother.
she's a lady, and you better.
That's as good as
be
it gets. I don't know if it's
you
the
better-
best.
You better be respectful. And I was like, "Fuck that!" She knows what she signed up for.
She's a Marine.
That's what I said. Like she's a fucking U.S. Marine Corps fucking veteran. She knows what she signed up for.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
This ain't the
Hey,
first time
look.
she's heard asshole jokes. I promise you.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. She's probably told more than she's heard too, though. Let's be honest, right? If you're in the Marines, dude, you tell, like, you got to fit in somehow. And the only way to do it is you got to get back at that dude that's always joking you. You know, Al, you know how that is. You
I
get one
do.
back your way and you're like, shit.
I know how it is. Hey, so future guests next week we got next Tuesday on the 25th we got Lonnie Lochner. This is my old first sergeant.
Hey, is he a
Yeah.
bounty hunter?
He could be. I mean,
He looks like one.
he's about 6'4", about 275, 85 pounds, and he's
Sucks. So we got a lot in common.
he looks like a goddamn gorilla. Yeah, when you see him, and he was menacing as hell. And this is him. This is him now. Like this is him. You know, a little bit older. I think he's probably
relaxed and not stressed.
Yeah, but man, he was a menacing dude back in the day when we were deploying all over the goddamn
Nice.
world.
Nice.
But,
Who knows? Hey, Al, we might be hanging out at the rodeo doing this podcast while you're in your house looking at four walls, but no big deal. Don't worry about it. We'll include you somehow. I got a big freaking.
I'm coming
placard
to
of
the
your
rodeo,
face.
motherfucker.
Not next week. You coming next week?
No. I'll be in Savannah, Georgia next week for work.
So you guys are.
I'll be podcasting from Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, there you go.
So we've actually, speaking of podcasting, we've got 2 podcasts next week. We got one on Thursday next week because we got Nicole Emilio's coming on, award-winning producer. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
I don't know if I'll make that one. I'm just telling you right now.
I'll make
the rodeo's got me tied up.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that's right. Shit.
You're not even a real
reschedule
cowboy.
this thing today. I just rescheduled this today. I might have to reschedule it again with her.
Hey, that's okay. She's rescheduled on us like 3 times. We'll give her some stuff about it. It'll be all right. No big deal.
That's my fault. I did reschedule that right in the middle of the fucking when we're going to be down there doing the show.
All good. It's going to be fun.
We'll figure something out.
Although, so I'm wearing, the Bubba Wesley hat today. So just so everybody knows, the rodeo's coming up. If you haven't checked out who's going to be playing the rodeo, there's a lot of big stars playing the rodeo, but take a look at who's playing in the hideout and all the other stages and go check out some local music at the rodeo. Remember, your ticket gets you into all that. So you can go see them. You can go hear the music they're playing, and maybe you'll find a new artist that's your favorite and help them grow. So, there's that. Oh, and also, Matt's t-shirt's the best. You got to go buy them. Fuck their t-shirt. I'm winning. Exactly.
We know what happened.
Y'all heard Al Hero say it.
It looks the best. It does.
Of course it does.
It says triple threats on it. Ours don't say triple threats.
Yeah.
Your t-shirt does say triple threat bets on it. Your t-shirt does say triple threat bets on it.
A little tiny in the front, right here.
Does it say it?
It does.
Okay.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I just want to say real quick before we go away, I'm going to say go USA, fuck Canada. Fuck Canada, bruh. Canucks, maple syrup drinking bitches, fuck y'all.
Hey, boo that national anthem again and see what happens.
Boo us again. Get your ass. The only thing y'all had on America was hockey, and we just took that from you. We took it from your soul. You ain't shit now. You don't got nothing. You got nothing. Even your maple syrup is mid, motherfuckers. Fuck Canada.
I never heard him use the word mid before.
I know. I was kind of confused for a second. Yeah. I'm like, you must have been talking to Kinsey today about something.
My kids taught me that word. No cap.
No.
All right, man. Take us out. I'm fucking.
Well, okay. So look, just so you guys know, we enjoy coming in here every week with you guys. We love to be able to meet new people and talk to people about their story, the things they've been through, and what they've done. So tell your friends, like, subscribe, share, watch it on Fridays when it gets posted. You can listen to it on Fridays or everywhere it's at. So if you guys know somebody that has a story to share, somebody that could stand to listen to some veterans screw around for a couple hours and make you laugh and make you remember what it was like to be in and have that camaraderie, this is the place to come right here. So without further ado, that's all for me. Buy Matt's t-shirt. Y'all see what I'm doing? And we will see you next week.